Hey everybody, it's Megan, aka Best Weapons in the World. Now, you might notice that there's a change of scenery and lighting today. And also that this video is a little late, but anyways. So, I'm in my basement, particularly a place called the Cave where there's no light. And, you know, just trying to give it a spooky atmosphere, because today, for the last book in the vampire section of the 13 books of Halloween, is Anne Rice's Interview with a Vampire. So, I've owned this book for a few years, and it's pretty good. Honestly, it's one of my favorite. Out of all the ones I've read the first three. I like what happens in book 2 more, but I like how, I like what happens in book 2 more, and book 2 is the vampire Lestat. And, I like what happens in that one more, like, I like the history of it more, but I really like Interview with a Vampire, like, how it sets up the world and everything. Honestly, it's been a while since I've read it. I read it in high school. I don't know. In this book, Louis, who's the main character, Louis, who's the main character, I don't know. He seems less of a pushover in this book than in all the other books. Like, in every other book after this, he's just like a whiny crybaby, and it's like, I don't know what happened to the character. And Lestat also seems to have somehow changed in the later books. Like, he somehow becomes less of a buttface. So basically, this book is called Interview with a Vampire because there's an interview with a vampire, Louis, and, it's basically Louis telling how he became a vampire and who turned him and what happened up until the point that this interview is done with him. And, Louis, has a pretty crazy life as a vampire. His life wasn't exactly, like, it was pretty normal as a human, but, like, it went down real fast as soon as him and Lestat met up. So this is typically considered to be the quintessential vampire series. I mean, I haven't particularly read a lot of vampire series, but I suppose this is the first non-YA one I've read. So, I do have the typical problem with it of vampires burning in the sunlight, which they don't do, which is the one prop, like the one good thing I'll give to Twilight that they have about the vampires is that they don't burn in the sunlight. They do glitter, but I will tell you something I discovered upon reading these first couple books. Anne Rice's vampires also do have a bit of a glitter. I believe it's in the beginning of, I want to say, Queen of the Damned, which is the 3rd book. And the movie Queen of the Damned is actually a combination of the vampire Lestat and Queen of the Damned, those 2 books. I think it was in the beginning of that. It was in the beginning of Queen of the Damned that Lestat was talking about how, like, under artificial lighting, they would tend to glitter a little. I know that's not the same as Twilight, but I found that really interesting. But yeah, I like this book. It's pretty good. If you want to read a good, hardcore vampire book, I suggest the first 3 of the series, which are all I've read. Though I will say that I've heard later on in this series that they get a little, they get very religious. So I don't know if I'll read the entire series, but I believe there's at least 10 books in this series, and they're not all with Lestat as the main character. Like, the first one has Louis, and from the vampire Lestat till for a while. I don't know how many, but I think starting with the book about Pandora was the first one that wasn't Lestat anymore. Yeah, so they're mostly about Lestat and his life and what it's like being a vampire and him deciding that he wants to be a rock star. But yeah, this is the book that started it all, and I would definitely suggest it. You can continue on reading if you want to, like the entire series. But a problem I had with Anne Rice, like her writing style as the books went on, got a little weird. Like it got really out there, which is something I didn't like and was hard to read for me. Which I also have the same. I used to have the same problem with Stephen King, but I think I've gotten over that now. I think what it really is you need to learn how to read these books. Like most books, it's just, oh, you pick it up, you read it, everything's good. But books like this, you have to learn how to read them. You have to be really, really dedicated about it. And I really like that. Because it's, like, not just something you can read in the car, it's something you really have to get into and sink your claws into. Or fangs, you know, vampires, puns. Yeah. That's really all I have to say about this book. It's really good. The characters were good. Claudia's creepy. Very creepy. Really creepy. And they introduced my favorite vampire, who is Armand. She leads, I want to say it's either the Italian or the French vampires. They go to some country. I think it's France. Yeah, France. The French vampires at the Vampire Theater, which I believe in French, the translation of that theater's name is literally the Vampire Theater. Like, people, it says Vampire Theater, and you go to it, and there are people drinking the blood out of other people while they're stripped naked. I don't think you should be there if you're human. Might be a bad idea. I wouldn't go. That seems a little bad. Scary, spooky. Yeah. The book's good. So, as I said, this is last in the vampire chunk of the 13 books of Halloween. So yeah, Ghost are next. Can't remember if it's 2 or 3 or maybe even 4 now. But, I think I've decided with that one that the first one I'm going to review was probably going to be hereafter. Yeah, there's going to be 4 books in the Ghost section. One of the books was in another section, but then I changed my mind because I just read it. It was really good, like really long, but really good. But I'll get more into that when I get there. So, this has been Megan, aka Best Weapons in the World, and I'll see you next time. Bye!